Ken Ivory with the Three Great Rights Institute, empowering your pursuit of happiness. Uh, just got back from Costa Rica a couple of weeks ago, where we spent the week with John Maxwell and 250 other Maxwell certified coaches, trainers, speakers on a project that was called Transformation Costa Rica. Trained 15,000 leadership facilitators in the country. And as we did roundtable groups all around the country, to universities, to the police, to health service providers, did groups with engineers and architects. In fact, we were coming back from San Carlos, and the road was blocked. There was an accident, and we had to backtrack and just take dirt roads. And as we went up and down this dirt road and through the water, we came to a section of highway in the middle of nowhere. And nobody was on it, and they had to open the gate to let us in this section of highway that had been there for 20 years and nobody drove on it. And we'd get to the end of the segment and back again on the dirt road and up and down and over and through water. And then we came to another segment of highway in the middle of nowhere that had been there for 20 years. And they opened a gate and let us pass. And eventually we came to a bridge, and we could see the bridge was hundreds of feet in the air. And it was kind of like a get smart moment. They would call ahead and the gate would open and we would proceed through. Well, this bridge was again, hundreds of feet in the air, and we're coming up to it, and we could see that on this bridge that had been there for decades with nobody using it, all they had were those temporary cement barricades on the sides to block the edges of the gate. And there were big gaps in the bridge. I mean, 2 and 3 foot gaps that just had a thin metal plate over the gaps. And here we are going over this bridge, and we thought for sure this was going to be our Thelma and Louise moment, and we were just going to go off into the sunset, and that would be the end of our experience in Costa Rica. And really fascinating. We came to the end and got back on a little highway and back into San Jose. But then the next day, we were conducting a roundtable experience with the architects and engineers, the National Association of Architects and Engineers. And they were frustrated because they couldn't get the government to appreciate how important infrastructure was to the growth of their nation. And we talked about the experience we had just had on this highway with little segments just out in the middle of nowhere, and that was part of their frustration. And as I thought about what could we share with them on how to increase their influence, this thought came to me. And I shared with them, and I said, imagine there's a guy who got up one morning and decided, my vision, my goal is to change the world. And because John Maxwell had been studying personal growth and growing his leadership and his influence for more than 50 years, when he got up that morning, he sent a message out to all of the people that he knows and that follow what he writes and teaches, and said, I want to go to Guatemala, I want to go to Paraguay, I want to go to Costa Rica, and I want to change the world one country at a time. And I want you to pay your own way to do this. I want you to take time away from your family and your business, and I want you to go to a country. I want you to work your guts out in hard conditions, in different languages, with different people, and I want you to join in my vision. And how fascinating that this man who has developed his personal growth and his leadership and his influence with others to such an extent that hundreds and thousands of people would pay for the privilege and come to be with him, to learn from him and work together with him on this vision of changing the world. Law 15 in the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, the last law in the book, is the law of contribution. Growing yourself enables you to grow others. If you're not doing something with your life, it doesn't matter how long it is. How incredible the opportunity to learn in these books, to learn in this material from someone who's dedicated his entire life to personal growth, to leadership development. In the final law of the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, the law of contribution, we go from merely self-serving to significance, from success to significance, to doing something of value in our life that really adds to others. And that's the concluding law, I think appropriately so, the concluding law of the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. We had a marvelous time in Costa Rica. We left behind 15,000 trained leadership and personal growth facilitators that will grow into the hundreds of thousands in that country. In Guatemala, they've already been on the ground a couple of years ago. They trained 20,000 leadership facilitators that have now grown to 400,000 people trained in Guatemala in principles of personal growth and leadership development. They went to Paraguay a year ago and trained 15,000 people, facilitators on the ground, that has now grown to 200,000 people in that country. Imagine one person growing their influence, growing their leadership, growing personally, and having that kind of influence to change the world. Those are the kinds of things that are possible. Imagine in your life, in your business, in your organization, if you had just a small measure, just a spoonful of that influence in your life, the impact it would have on the things that you want to accomplish, that you aspire to most. We encourage you to get involved. Get involved in this material. You can get more information on our website, threegreatrights.com. If you'd like to have a free lunch and learn at your company or organization, let us know. Opportunities for mastermind groups and roundtables in your organization. We can't grow personally without growing as a family, without growing as a business, without growing as a community. Find more at threegreatrights.com. Ken Ivory with the Three Great Rights Institute, empowering your pursuit of happiness.